Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Simon. You're watching Cryptechology. So I have an update for you today that I want to go over. So as you are aware, Bobcat is pushing hotspots out like crazy. They're going through their batches. They are ahead of the game, and they are producing these things quite quickly. But at the same time, people have understand when they received their Bobcats, they were having slow syncing issues, and they're like, WTF, what is going on? Other hotspots are syncing a lot faster than mine. How come this Bobcat is going so slow? So just let you understand, everyone over at Helium and Bobcat has been working on this issue since the very beginning. I was one of the testers from the Bobcat, and I was one of the first individuals to find out about the slow sync issue. I was communicating it with the engineering team. So however, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Just so you know, when you do get your Bobcat and get your Helium hotspot, please go through the process of setting up the port forwarding. It would allow the inbound and outbound connections to go through seamlessly. And if you have multiple routers or inside your house, like you have another Wi-Fi that's different from the one that comes with your ISP, do not log into that wireless router to do the port forwarding. Please log into the one that comes from your ISP and set up the port forwarding that way to help with any relaying issues. So people were having slow syncing and zero beacon witnessing issues. This has been a problem that an update has been released. So we're just going to go over this quick note that was sent out to all of us. So Bobcat has released an OTA update at 4 a.m. to resolve issues related to the beaconing and witnessing results. So prior to this latest update, hotspot firmware release, which contains a newly generated snapshot to help recently onboarded and previously unsynced hotspots to sync to the head of the blockchain faster. Keep your hotspot connected to Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and the update will be pushed automatically. There is no manual intervention needed from anyone. So the manufacturer release on June 10 includes these updates. The Bobcat miner firmware version updated 1.0.1.11. The firmware version display has not yet been fixed. So you will see a version of 2019 if you were to log in and look into the app. But just to let you know that that dashboard is not up to date. So please do not use that firmware version as the most accurate, because it is something that they are working it. So this will be corrected in the next release. Thank goodness. The web interface has been turned off and it is not being used. Many users have tried configuring this feature, but it does not do anything. Any changes made will be cleared when the hotspot receives updates or it is rebooted. Number 3, additional format corrections to the local config JSON file that was causing this zero beacon no witness issue in the first place. We believe there is a very high probability the second manufacturer OTA update will fix the remaining miners that have been having zero beacon error and no witnesses in the past weeks. For all customers, we advise the following steps. 1. Make sure your miner is connected to the internet to receive updates. I highly recommend keeping your hotspot connected by Ethernet for a stable connection. Updates will be received as long as the hotspot is connected to the internet. So when Helium announces that an update is going to be sent out, each manufacturer will have to go through the process of pushing that update to the hotspot. So just because an announcement comes out today, that doesn't mean your hotspot will be updated right away. You will have to wait for the manufacturer to push that update to your hotspot. So in the example for Bobcat, I've noticed that when an update is being sent or announced by Helium, it takes about a day or two before I see that update being pushed to my Bobcat hotspot. So here's some additional notes that we're going to go over real quick. Here's an explanation as to why a connected hotspot is sometimes shown by the Helium Explorer as offline, and its LED status keeps switching between green and yellow. So that's another thing people have been having issues with, and maybe a little bit concerned. So number 1, if the light on your hotspot is green, then you are good to go. And if you are syncing your Bobcat, it will go through a process of offline and online and showing different statuses, and it will be inconsistent, and it'll probably drive you crazy. But rest assured, just don't do anything. Allow the hotspot to do its thing. Allow the hotspot to sync with the blockchain, and allow the hotspot to sync with the blockchain in a time frame that it needs to take. So, but there are some things that they're changing when it comes to this light. So the logic of the Explorer showing on or offline and the logic of the LED status showing green, yellow is not controlled by the hardware but by Helium. When the Explorer shows offline and or the LED turns to yellow, it could mean several things. It does not necessarily mean that it is offline, but one of the possibilities is that the miner is not receiving a peer-to-peer hotspot data very well because it is, quote, relayed. You didn't do the port forwarding, or you did do the port forwarding, but your inbound and outbound connections are still being blocked by potentially the advanced securities in your ISP, or your ISP is actually still blocking it, trying to quote-unquote protect you from an unknown device. So just be aware that I actually had to go through the process of communicating with my ISP through the chat text and say, hey, I added this device to my network. This is something that I'm doing, and I'm setting up port forwarded. Please do not block inbound, outbound connections going to this device. And that helped me. I don't know if that conversation actually is what did it, or it's just the fact that I set up my port forwarding right from the jump, right when I was syncing it. I did not sync my hotspot without doing the port forwarding. So back to it. Peer-to-peer, well, because it's relayed, or other miners is talking to are relayed. This means that if you see the status changing constantly, the miner is trying different ways to communicate to other miners on the blockchain. Number 3, the best thing you can do while seeing the frequent on, offline, and or LED status changes is to ensure A, your internet is working properly, B, keep the miner connected to the internet, and C, port forward to remove the relay status of your miner. Although this is not absolutely necessary, it is highly, highly, highly recommended. And D, there is no need to reboot your miner. Reward fluctuations and no beacon activity section. So as of June 2021, Helium has increased the proof of coverage challenge interval to 480 blocks from 240 blocks at the target block time of 60 seconds. This should mean that a hotspot will be targeted on an average every 8 hours. However, due to slow block times, this interval could be as much as 12 hours or more. It won't be uncommon to go a day or more without a single beacon. So as proof of coverage challenges can fail for several reasons, the rewards should be the same per beacon, but could take much longer to arrive. This will also mean you witness less often, as the hotspots around you are also beaconing less frequently. I don't like that, but it is what it is. Helium general announcement from June 2nd. You can go and click that and get some more. And here we go. The impact of more hotspots added to the blockchain. So approximately 1,000 hotspots are joining the network each day. This reduces the per hotspot rewards as the entire H&T pool is now split between more participants. It is important to remember that this decrease is not linear. For example, adding 10% more hotspot does not necessarily equal 10% fewer rewards. If they have many witnesses, it could be significantly more than 10%. If they are poorly placed with no witnesses, they could have almost no impact at all. So it's important to know where you're placing your hotspots. I was able to ROI in 5 days because of optimal placement. And you can do the same thing as well. You can get yourself a Helium consultant. You can come join us on the Helium Discord, where we provide an awesome amount of customer service, some tips, advice, and we just talk and bullshit all day about Helium and about the way it has changed our lives. So if Helium has changed your life, or you want to learn more about Helium, come join us in Helium Discord. I'm Simon Future in there, and I'll catch you on the next one. This is Cryptechology. Let's build the IoT network of the future.